Welcome to the nightclub, guys. It's your host, the Night Wrencher. Now I got the truck into the shop. I was able to push it in. We have a skid steer loader, and it grabs it from the back and it picks it up. And then we just dragged it all the way across the front of the house, and then opened up the back and then drove it in. I didn't realize that our lift. I've never actually used our lift ever with any of our cars, but I wanted to use it on this so I can work under the truck easier. It just won't work. The frame is a very funny design that this type of lift doesn't work very well on the truck, and I just kind of gave up. So then I had to move the duster out so I can move the truck in, but then I realized that I couldn't use the lift, and now I've got the truck in between two posts, and then the duster's here in the nice open. So yeah, I gotta work around the post now because I don't want to move two cars again. So basically, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to verify the condition. Something new happened, and it now seems to be stuck in neutral. So I don't know if it is a pressure plate. I don't know if the springs finally broke and there's no tension. I don't know if the clutch disc was a problem. I don't know if the throwout bearing was stuck. I don't know anything. And I won't know until I take it apart, but right now I'm just going to verify that everything works. And then I'm going to start taking off the exhaust and then seeing if I can drop the transmission. Really not looking forward to this. This assembly was actually pretty straightforward. The way I set it up was that the exhaust was all one piece. Just a couple of exhaust clamps for holding the whole system up, and then a couple brackets at the end. The drive shaft was also pretty simple. It was just four 14mm bolts and nuts that had to be undone, and the drive shaft just kind of fell off. I didn't even bother to unbolt it from the differential. I just let it hang there. No big deal. And then the next thing I probably had to do was not only release the cross member but also remove it completely from the transmission. If you just leave the engine and transmission dangling like that, the engine's probably going to bump up against your firewall, and you're probably not going to have a very good time repairing things that could possibly be damaged, like my oil pressure sensor, and then my starter solenoid was right behind that as well. So really didn't want to deal with that, so I went ahead and just rested the transmission up against one of the jacks, and then I'm going to also set up another jack on the oil pan, because after the transmission is off, the engine's going to want to move. So the best way to remove it is probably sticking a shim on through the bottom of the bell housing and then dropping the transmission onto it. That'll pop the top of it, and then just wiggle it a couple times up and down, and it should probably pop off by itself. Okay, so I got the transmission filing out. Took me about, I want to say, 2 hours more or less. The transmission came out pretty easily. Not too many issues. You guys can see I've got good play here, and then the actual bearing. The bearing it's a little dry, but it's not bad. I'm still gonna have to replace it, but you know, it's not bad. I don't see anything particularly wrong with my clutch plate. All the teeth, all of these look fine. Before I took it apart, I did check it. I put a flashlight in between the hole, and I had somebody pump it, and it looks like it was moving freely. There's no kind of play inside the disc. I'm still going to take it apart just to double check everything. Probably going to take the flywheel to go get resurfaced anyway. It looks fine. It doesn't look like it's been overheated or anything. All the bolts still look like they're intact. I know when I installed it, I used red Loctite. That's what was included in the kit, I think, or I don't know if I bought it on the side. I don't remember, but we were supposed to use red Loctite. I'm checking the wear pattern on my starter teeth. If I find that it was too far away, I'm probably going to go ahead and take out one or two of the shims and then get that thing even closer so I can have better contact. Just makes the starter last longer, and the teeth don't wear as fast. Going back to this, spinning it, I don't particularly hear anything. Moving it, I don't particularly feel anything. So it might not be anything with there, but if there's nothing wrong with the clutch, there's gonna have to be something wrong with the transmission. So all of this is gonna come apart. I'm probably gonna have to look for a transmission. Overall, I just ended up checking everything. I went ahead and took off the bell housing on the front cover. Nothing out of the ordinary really jumped out at me. These are pretty bulletproof transmissions, but ever since I've had it, it's always been like kind of iffy. So getting a transmission from warranty is probably going to be the best thing to do, but at this point I'm not really sure what I want to do. But I'm just happy I was able to take it all apart within the last 2 hours or so. So I pulled the clutch off and I don't see any immediate problems. What I did see is this hot spot right here. This is probably due to me either torquing it incorrectly or not torquing it, which is probably what's wrong with it. I probably just didn't torque it. But it doesn't look, the rest of the surface is fine. And even this isn't that bad compared to the clutch on my brother's Subaru. Everything was blue and that thing was still running pretty good until he finally blew up the disc. The disc on mine, it's still in really good shape. Nothing really wrong with it. It's got some spots. Whoops. It's got some spots, like where it skips or where it was skipping. That's also probably due to the same thing. Incorrectly torquing it. And then on the clutch, the pressure plate, everything's fine except for a little bit of wear right there. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna have my flywheel resurfaced, and then I'm gonna have pressure plate in itself is fine. Originally I was assuming that there was something wrong with my pressure plate. Maybe some of the springs collapsed or something. Looking closely, it is a Luke. And actually the number's on here too, which is great. Luke pressure plate. And it wasn't any kind of immediate damage. All the forks or all the teeth on it are fine. If I move it around, I don't hear anything shaking. Everything, looks like it's working the way it's supposed to. So really, I did take apart my transmission, or at least the front cover off of it, but that seems to be the final culprit. That seems to be where our problems are. But even, man, I'm tired. Even taking off the front cover, I'm not actually gonna know what's wrong with it. If I spin it, absolutely no noise. No noise here. And the fluid was coming out clean, so I'm assuming one of the shift forks probably broke or got stuck, or I don't know, but chances are highly that the transmission is done. And I was kind of assuming it would be. If not for this, it'd be for something else. I was planning to replace it anyway, because I know I had a problem with the output shaft, one of the output shaft bearings, because when I would get up to speed, the whole transmission would just chatter, either on decel or when just coasting, it would just chatter like crazy, and I could feel it in the shifter. So I knew something was wrong with it, and I believe the problem that I have now is unrelated to the problem that's the chattering. But honestly, I'm not going to even bother taking it apart. I'm just going to go to the junkyard and find another one and put it all back together and throw it into the truck and then see where that goes. So I'm pretty sure that's my problem. I'm gonna stop it there. Let me know what you guys think. Wish me luck. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Night Wrencher out.